Stanley, how you doing, sir? Oh, I'm doing fine. I'm down in Athens, Georgia, doing my deliveries and actually going in the recording studio tomorrow. I used to play music, and I have a solo project that was unfinished when I moved to the farm and stuff. It was sort of about halfway done, and 6 years later, we're going back in to finish it up. Oh, I do have pork chops for you. If you had told me I'd be in here right now, if you'd told me this like a year ago, like I said, well, we'll see. I'll believe you when it happens. The chorus is, instead of saying waiting and just staying down, I did this waiting, which it's probably to anybody else probably doesn't matter, but
but it's one of those things that
you're carving in stone. I pretty much just got to be able to figure out what I did like before I do it. Otherwise, I'm never gonna match it up. Shit, man, it's gonna be fucking hard as shit.
let's try it from in here. We can probably get through it.
I didn't anticipate it being as hard to do that harmony guitar solo thing, but basically having to sit there and relearn my own parts, one little snapshot at a time, the only way to do it. And man, I really carved one out for myself. Shit. Well, okay, I'm ready. I got it locked in.
Yeah, you do. That's the part.
Feels good. Progress. Need that progress. I started out the day with quite the challenge for myself, but we got it.
Step behind,
Step kick,
to the left, step behind to the right,
do one
in a
circle, and then we'll be back ready to go when they...
Oh, okay. Would
Okay.
you go to slower pace is
Yeah.
what you're saying. But then we got to watch them too.
You know what? They're going to be ready for us.
She's 23 for crying out loud. She can do that a lot better than I can. Well, I came from Holland. I was born and raised in the province of Friesland, lived there for a few years, and then moved to the province of North Holland, where I graduated at the age of 14, graduated from high school at the age of 14, and then we emigrated to the United States. and that was in February of 1949.
And that's really the whole dance. That's all of the steps. And we
I
just
love dancing, and I watch dancing on TV, and of course I participate on that at home.
step. I like that. Yeah. And it's just.
Oh, I'm the kind of a person that likes to do things, and if I've got my mind made up to do something, I generally participate in whatever that may be. In this case, they were asking for 1,000 people, dancing in wooden shoes, and I felt, I participated in the Tula Festival, giving tours and so forth, I wanted to participate in this Dutch dancing as well.
We're going to start over.
Well, I didn't know the steps. It doesn't take me that long to catch on. But like most older people, it takes a little longer to catch on, and we get a little bit more unstable on our feet.
I don't want to say you can't relate to other people outside of your own race, but it becomes kind of a struggle, at times, and because you know that you're different. Oh yeah, I'm good. I can't really speak on other individuals. I can only speak about, about myself, and just kind of growing up, you always thought there's always like a double standard, you would say. Like, you always had to prove yourself over and over and over. And it wears on you.
All of these complicated feelings about race that endure today makes what happened in Buxton that much more remarkable. To this day, no one quite knows why Buxton developed the way it did. Was it because the coal mine operators, the Buxton family, were spatially enlightened? Did it have anything to do with the concept of welfare capitalism that emerged during that era? Or something else altogether? Even those who have studied this almost unparalleled story of prosperity and harmony admit to being uncertain.
I think we really know a good bit about Buxton, but there are many things we don't know. And one of the great unknowns to me is, did John Buxton or Ben Buxton really envision something of an African-American utopia? Did they really see this as a place where racial harmony would exist, where families would be treated equally? When the men went into the mines, they would receive equal pay for equal work. We don't know that.
Whatever it was, Jason Madison and others now believe that what happened in Buxton needs to be taught in Iowa schools and nationally, that the story not be lost, that history be preserved.
Well, I think it's extremely important for young people and even old people to know where they fit into history. What is their place? We're not just little isolated specks floating out. And I guess that's what I find exciting. If that could exist at that time in Iowa, then why can't it exist all over the United States today?
If these tales weren't told and these stories from previous generations weren't told, we wouldn't have any idea about it. I mean, it's something that wasn't taught in the schools that much. This is definitely something that is unique to Iowa and definitely needs to be shared.
it's a really big adrenaline rush, and it's just one of the most amazing feelings you will ever feel.
Once that pager goes off, it's just all excitement from the start. You come down to the fire hall and get in the trucks and go out. It's just a feeling that a lot of people, they don't get to experience.
You're really excited to get there and help do whatever it is you have to do, whether it's me, I like to be on the nozzle to put out a fire, or I like to be right up there, by the patient or helping extricate when there's an accident.
It's a rush. It's a rush. I mean, like I say, I've had 4 kids, and I mean, it's a rush having kids, being there for their birth and all that, but this is just, it's awesome. You get the adrenaline going. Depending on the nature of the call, you're starting to think, well, okay, I gotta do this, I gotta do that.
Shelby County First Assistant is 1076. What goes through my mind being an assistant chief is finding a way to resolve the situation as safely as I can for my firefighters. You don't want to have a firefighter injured, and that's where your experience and your training kicks in. And being on the fire department, as long as you have been, you know what you need to do.
There's always a level of nerves involved. I think you have to be scared, because if you're not scared, then you're going to be reckless and you shouldn't be doing it anymore.
All-white high school. This is thought to be the only photograph of the teenager at the center of the historic case.
It is the first successful school desegregation case in the history of the United States. That makes the Clark case extremely important. It is subsequently cited in a number of cases around the country.
It is 86 years before the U.S. Supreme Court's historic Brown versus the Board of Education desegregation ruling. 89 years before federal troops are dispatched to Little Rock to help desegregate schools there. More than 90 years before James Meredith integrates the University of Mississippi. More than 90 years before Governor George Wallace stands in the doorway trying to block black students from entering the University of Alabama.
One other piece of the Clark case that's worth noting is that when desegregation finally comes to the Supreme Court in Brown v. Board of Education, that a number of the briefs, that is the lawyers' written arguments for desegregation, cite the Clark case. They begin with the Clark case. They go back and they do the history and they say, oh my gosh, here's this case from 1868 from Iowa of all places, which says that you can't discriminate and you can't segregate blacks any more than you could segregate Germans or Irish or poor kids or Catholics. So in a sense, it takes the United States from 1868 to 1954 to catch up to Iowa.